The first warning signs don't look serious. Most people imagine liver disease as something obvious. Yellow eyes, severe illness, hospital beds, heavy alcohol abuse. But in reality, many liver problems begin quietly, very quietly. A person may still be working, still exercising, still living what looks like a normal life. Meanwhile, the liver may already be struggling. And one of the biggest reasons people miss the early warning signs is because the symptoms often seem harmless. Fatigue, bloating, itchy skin, feeling full quickly, mild discomfort, brain fog, changes in appetite. Symptoms people laugh off, symptoms people blame on stress, age, poor sleep, or just eating badly lately. And honestly, that delay is something doctors see constantly. Patients often arrive much later than they should because the body never screamed in the beginning. It whispered. As a doctor, I can tell you something important. The liver is one of the most hard-working organs in the human body, and unfortunately, it's also one of the quietest. It can continue functioning while damage slowly builds in the background. Tonight, we're going to talk honestly about why liver disease often begins with symptoms people ignore, misunderstand, or joke about. We'll discuss what the liver actually does, why liver damage becomes more common today, the subtle signs doctors pay attention to, why non-alcoholic liver disease is rising rapidly, and medically grounded ways people can support liver health before silent damage becomes serious. My name is Dr. Richard Prime, and on this channel, we talk honestly about real health concerns using medically informed education designed for everyday people. No fake miracle cleanses, no internet fear tactics, no misleading nonsense. Just honest conversations about health. And if you appreciate that kind of content, subscribe to the channel and join our growing community. Because sometimes, recognizing one small symptom early can protect years of future health. Now let's begin. Why the liver matters so much. Most people rarely think about their liver until something goes wrong. But the liver performs hundreds of essential functions every single day. It helps process nutrients, stores energy, filters toxins, supports digestion, helps regulate blood sugar, processes medications, supports immune function. In many ways, the liver works like the body's internal processing center. And what makes it remarkable is how resilient it can be. The liver has an incredible ability to compensate even while under stress. That sounds positive, but it also creates a dangerous problem. People may develop liver damage without realizing it because the organ continues functioning for long periods before severe symptoms appear. That's one reason liver disease often goes unnoticed in early stages. Now, many people still associate liver disease only with heavy alcohol use, but modern medicine sees a much broader picture. Today, one of the fastest growing liver problems involves people who rarely drink alcohol at all. And honestly, that surprises many patients. The rise of fatty liver disease. One increasingly common condition is called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Doctors sometimes shorten the name and call it NAFLD. This condition happens when excess fat begins building inside the liver. And what makes it especially important is how common it has become. Modern lifestyles contribute heavily. Poor diet, excess sugar, highly processed foods, sedentary behavior, obesity, diabetes, insulin resistance. All of these can increase strain on the liver over time. And in the beginning, many people feel completely normal. Others experience only subtle symptoms: low energy, bloating, mild abdominal discomfort, mental fog, feeling off. Symptoms so ordinary that people rarely suspect liver involvement. I've personally seen patients shocked after routine testing revealed fatty liver changes because they never considered themselves at risk. Some exercised occasionally. Some barely drank alcohol. Some looked healthy externally. But outward appearance does not always reveal what's happening internally. That's one of the most important lessons medicine teaches. The body can appear functional, while silent inflammation slowly develops underneath. The early signs people brush off. Now let's talk about the symptoms many people dismiss. Fatigue is one of the biggest, and this isn't always dramatic exhaustion. Sometimes it feels like reduced stamina. People wake up tired, lose motivation, feel mentally sluggish, need more rest than usual. But because modern life already exhausts people, fatigue often gets ignored. Another symptom is bloating or abdominal pressure. Some people feel discomfort on the upper right side of the abdomen where the liver sits. Others describe feeling unusually full after eating. Appetite changes may also appear. Some patients notice nausea. Others lose interest in food completely. And one symptom people rarely connect to liver problems is itchy skin. Persistent, unexplained itching can sometimes occur when liver function becomes affected. Now, itching alone does not automatically mean liver disease. Many common conditions can cause skin irritation. But when unusual symptoms cluster together, doctors begin looking more carefully. And honestly, many patients laugh off these changes initially. They joke about getting older, blame stress, ignore it, until symptoms slowly become harder to dismiss. The damage can build for years without pain. And in just a moment, I'm going to explain why some people develop significant liver damage even though they rarely felt obvious pain. Because one of the most dangerous myths about liver disease is the belief that serious organ damage always feels dramatic. Unfortunately, that's not always true. Why liver damage often stays silent. The liver does not always produce strong pain signals early. That surprises many people. Unlike injuries people can immediately feel, liver disease often progresses gradually. Inflammation increases. Fat accumulates. Scar tissue may slowly develop. And because these changes happen over long periods, the body adapts. People normalize the symptoms. That gradual normalization is incredibly common. Patients often say, "I thought I was just tired. I assumed it was stress. I didn't think bloating could mean anything serious." And unfortunately, some patients only discover liver problems after routine blood work or imaging studies reveal abnormal findings. Now, it's important to understand something clearly. Not every abnormal liver test means severe disease. Medicine is rarely black and white, but persistent liver inflammation over time can become dangerous, especially if underlying causes remain untreated. In more advanced stages, scar tissue may replace healthy liver tissue. That condition is known as cirrhosis. And once severe scarring develops, complications become far more serious. That's why early awareness matters, because prevention is always easier than reversing advanced damage. The modern habits hurting the liver. Many people think only alcohol damages the liver, but modern metabolic lifestyles affect liver health dramatically. Excess sugar intake is one major issue. Highly processed foods, sugary beverages, large portions, constant snacking. The body was not designed for non-stop metabolic overload. Over time, excess calories and insulin resistance may increase fat accumulation in the liver. Physical inactivity also matters. Movement helps regulate metabolism, blood sugar, circulation, and inflammation. Poor sleep contributes too. So does chronic stress. The body functions as an interconnected system. When metabolic health deteriorates, the liver often feels the consequences. And one thing I always explain to patients is this. Liver disease does not suddenly appear overnight. It usually develops through years of repeated strain. Small habits, repeated daily, become powerful over time, both positively and negatively. The connection between the liver and the brain. Now here's something many people don't realize. Liver health can affect mental clarity too. Some patients with liver dysfunction describe brain fog, poor concentration, mental fatigue, forgetfulness, mood changes. Now, severe neurological symptoms are more associated with advanced liver disease. But even earlier metabolic dysfunction can affect how people feel physically and mentally. The liver plays a major role in processing substances inside the body. When overall metabolic health declines, the effects often spread beyond one organ. That's why people with chronic liver problems sometimes describe feeling unlike themselves, exhausted, sluggish, mentally drained. And because these symptoms overlap with stress and aging, people often delay evaluation for far too long. As doctors, we see that pattern constantly. The body changes gradually, and people slowly adapt to feeling worse, until one day they realize they haven't felt truly healthy in years. Why some healthy-looking people have severe liver damage. And later in this video, I'm going to explain why some people with serious liver inflammation still appear completely functional on the outside. Because outward appearance can be deeply misleading when it comes to liver health. And some patients don't discover the truth until medical testing reveals how much silent damage has already occurred. The signs doctors take very seriously. Now let's discuss symptoms doctors never ignore. Yellowing of the skin or eyes, swelling in the abdomen, easy bruising, persistent nausea, dark urine, significant unexplained fatigue, loss of appetite, confusion or mental changes. These symptoms deserve prompt medical attention. Now again, symptoms alone do not diagnose liver disease. Many conditions overlap. But persistent, unexplained changes should always be evaluated professionally, especially when symptoms worsen over time. And one thing people need to remember is this: the earlier liver problems are identified, the greater the opportunity for improvement. Lifestyle changes, weight management, metabolic control, alcohol reduction, and proper medical care can make enormous differences in many patients. That's why awareness matters. Not because awareness creates fear, but because awareness creates opportunity. The alcohol misunderstanding. Now let's talk honestly about alcohol. Alcohol absolutely can damage the liver, especially with long-term heavy use. But one mistake many people make is assuming liver disease only affects heavy drinkers. That belief causes many adults to ignore symptoms because they think, "I don't drink much, so my liver must be fine." Unfortunately, modern metabolic disease has changed the picture significantly. Today, many adults with fatty liver disease rarely consume alcohol at all. Obesity, diabetes, insulin resistance, poor nutrition, and inactivity may still place enormous stress on the liver. And some people combine both risks: poor metabolic health plus regular alcohol use. That combination increases strain even further. As doctors, we increasingly see liver problems connected to overall lifestyle patterns rather than one single factor alone. Health is rarely about one isolated habit. The body responds to patterns repeated consistently over years. How doctors detect liver problems. Now, the encouraging part is this: many liver problems can be detected before severe symptoms develop. Doctors may use blood tests to evaluate liver enzymes and function. Imaging studies such as ultrasound may help identify fatty liver changes or structural abnormalities. Medical history matters too. Diet, alcohol use, weight changes, medications, metabolic health. All of these provide important clues, and importantly, abnormal tests do not automatically mean permanent severe damage. That's why proper medical interpretation matters. The internet often turns every abnormal lab result into panic. Real medicine is more nuanced than that. The goal is understanding the full picture. And honestly, some patients feel relieved after finally identifying the cause of symptoms they ignored for years. Because uncertainty itself can become emotionally exhausting. The biggest mistake people make after hearing they have fatty liver. And in the final part of this video, I'm going to explain one dangerous reaction many people have after learning they have liver inflammation or fatty liver disease. And unfortunately, that mistake sometimes allows silent damage to continue progressing even faster. The mistake that makes things worse. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming early liver disease is not serious because symptoms feel mild. They continue the same habits, ignore follow-up care, delay lifestyle changes. And because the liver may stay relatively quiet for years, the false sense of safety continues. But silent progression is still progression. Now, this does not mean people should become terrified after hearing terms like fatty liver. Fear is not the goal. The goal is action. Realistic, sustainable action. Better nutrition, weight management, movement, blood sugar control, alcohol moderation, sleep improvement, medical follow-up. Small, consistent changes matter enormously over time. The body responds to patterns, not perfection. And one of the most encouraging things doctors see is how much improvement some patients achieve once they begin supporting metabolic health seriously. The body is remarkably responsive when given the chance. Supporting liver health realistically. Now let's talk practically. What actually helps support liver health? Balanced nutrition matters. Reducing highly processed foods and excess sugar can help reduce metabolic strain. Movement matters. Regular walking alone improves metabolic function more than many people realize. Weight management matters too. Even moderate weight reduction may improve fatty liver changes in some patients. Hydration matters. Sleep matters. Managing diabetes and blood pressure matters. And importantly, there is no magical detox cleanse that instantly repairs the liver. The internet loves selling dramatic liver detox products. Most are unsupported by strong medical evidence. Real liver support usually involves long-term healthy habits. Consistency, not gimmicks. That's something people need to hear more often. One of the most important lessons medicine teaches is this. The body often whispers before it screams. And the liver is one of the clearest examples. Many liver problems begin with symptoms people dismiss completely. Fatigue, bloating, mild discomfort, mental fog, itching, changes in appetite. Symptoms that feel too ordinary to matter. But persistent, unexplained changes deserve attention, especially when they continue worsening over time. As a doctor, I would always rather identify liver problems early, while meaningful improvement is still highly possible, than discover severe damage years later after silent progression. Awareness matters. Not obsession, not panic. Awareness. Because listening to the body early often changes outcomes later. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Dr. Richard Prime, and if you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel for more honest, medically informed health education designed to help people stay healthier, more informed, and more aware as they age. And remember, sometimes the symptoms people laugh at first are the exact warnings the body hoped you would notice.